Q97. I'm the Z-Man on the phone with Paul Shaffer. How you doing, Paul?
Z-Man, I couldn't be more thrilled to be with you in the morning. Doing just great. How about you?
Oh, I'm thrilled to have you. I don't get starstruck very often, but been a long-time fan, and still, my favorite part of Spinal Tap is your part.
Well, me too, if I may say. What a fun experience. You know, fun to do that little cameo in that movie, though, and nobody thought it would have the kind of legs it's still around. People still talk to me about it.
It's definitely a focal point to the whole movie. Listen, we are here celebrating the upcoming 2,500th episode. I'll get it out one of these days.
2,500th episode.
There you go.
Paul Shaffer's Day in Rock.
Day in Rock, and we absolutely love that feature. I thought I knew everything about classic rock, but you've proved me wrong, and you do it in a way to where you say it the way we think it.
Oh, I love to hear that. Well, sometimes people say that that's comedy, if you can put into words what people are already thinking.
Yeah.
We do the rock and roll facts, very factual and accurate, but with a comedic slant.
Right.
So it's just like, I like to think like the way people say, well, kids today get their news from Jon Stewart, you know. Mm-hmm. We're doing that for the rock and roll set.
Right.
Giving you your facts, but with a comedic slant.
Well,
think of it that way.
You've come a long way from Thunder Bay.
Yes, but still a Thunder Bay boy at heart.
Yeah. Always. Let me ask you this, Paul. What's the most exciting artist you've performed with? I know the list is way too long to list everyone, but is there someone that kind of got you starstruck?
Yes, and I will always answer it the same, and I can answer it because nobody else on the list would be upset.
Right.
James Brown.
Oh, man.
First time he did Letterman, and every time after that was always a musical education. But that first time, when he hit us hard, and we didn't really have a format to the Letterman show yet, like we do now. So the musical artists were playing two numbers. James played three. He just said, before you close, to Letterman, he said, before you close, can we close with I Got the Feeling? Another one of his tunes. We did it spontaneously. Things were feeling so good. He took over that show, and I never recovered.
Can't say no to the Godfather.
No, you don't want to.
No.
You know, you want to.
Wow. Because
he's Godfather of soul.
Yes.
That's why.
Absolutely. Paul, were keyboards your first instrument?
Yes, of course, piano. Had a piano in the house. My mother played the piano, and I used to sit, I remember as an infant, sitting underneath the piano.
Wow.
Absorbing it.
Playing the pedals?
I started taking lessons. Once I started playing, she stopped playing, funnily enough. I think, she had done her job. But yeah, playing the piano, and very soon after I started to play it, at 6 years old, I heard rock and roll on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
And that was it. I started playing that by ear. That became my true love.
Do you remember your first paying gig?
Yes, because I joined the union at 15.
Right. Wow.
Because I was in a band, and we did union engagements for $18 or $24 for a 3-hour engagement, or 4. There would be an AFM contract. And we played a 4-hour dance at Lakehead University.
Wow.
$21.
And, that was big money too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh well, yes, it was. And I was paying my dad back, because he had loaned me the money for an organ. I have a portable organ to do these gigs, and I would stand up because you had to stand up at the organ. Mm-hmm. But with one foot operating the pedal, you end up standing on one foot, on the other foot for the whole 4 hours. Afterwards, I couldn't walk. I fell over.
Oh no!
My foot had fallen asleep.
Yeah.
But worth it though for the every penny of that 24.
Did you ever fool around with the old Farfisa?
Yes. That's not the organ that I owned though. I had a Hohner organ that I started on, and then went to a Yamaha. I never had that Farfisa sound. A friend of mine did. Now I have the Vox organ.
Right.
It was too hip that I couldn't have it back in the day. Cost $1,000.
Yeah.
Forget it. You're not going to, but I have one now. It is cherished possession.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
I sit down every once in a while, play House of the Rising Sun on it, and I'm in heaven. Forget it.
The inverted keys. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, exactly. The white keys are black, the black keys are white. But it had those Z legs and everything.
I remember that.
Top. Well. Oh, yeah, the organ of the Dave Clark 5. That was, Some hits were cut on the Farfisa too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Incense, peppermint, that Farfisa did have a sound of its own. But the Vox was more similar to the Hammond organ, which, of course, once the Rascals came out with the full Hammond, that's what you had to have.
Well, now, did you mess around much with the Moog, the synthesizer sound?
No, I remember going in Toronto, though, going way out into the suburbs where a guy had one of the early Moogs with the patch cord.
Right.
That you looked like a telephone operator operating it.
And it was monophonic,
but
too.
Back then, this would have been like late 60s, 68, 69. I did learn the mini Moog. And I have a new version of it now on stage at Letterman, the Moog Voyager, which is really just a mini Moog, but it remembers your settings. It's got a digital component to it as well. So I was still screwing around with that, but I'm no maven, if you'll pardon my
Well, yeah. And the monophonic, that was always kind of odd to me.
One note at a time. Yeah. So you're a musician, obviously.
I have a keyboard friend that had one of those years ago, and he used to sneak when he wasn't looking and mess with it. It's like, how come I can't play a chord?
No, you can't play a chord, but you can play a hell of a bass.
Oh man. Yeah.
One thing.
Did a lot of Doors tunes with that one.
That's right. Keyboard bass. Sure.
Yeah. Well, Paul, it's been wonderful getting to talk to you. I know you're on a busy schedule, and we're just going to keep on playing Paul Shaffer's Day in Rock as long as you keep banging it out, and we appreciate your time and your talent, and just keep on keeping on.
So happy you're doing with me on the show because I love doing it for you, and let's do another 2,500 episodes together.
I'm with you.
All right, thanks, Z-Man.
Thank you, Paul.